25 years ago, the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships were born. And with it, dreams became reality for young ladies across the land. The championship was dominated in its infancy by Utah, who would celebrate the first decade with near perfection. But it wasn't long before a few perennial favorites joined them as the only schools to achieve coronation at the Super Six, including defending champion Georgia, who will look even stronger with the addition of Olympic medalist Courtney Kupets. Or will this be the breakthrough year for a new champion? It's time to celebrate 25 years of power and strength, matched only by beauty and grace. It's time to celebrate the silver anniversary of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. Welcome to the Gill Coliseum on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis as CBS Sports presents the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. This is the 25th anniversary of the Women's Championships, and today's competitors are no strangers to its rich tradition.
Roll, roll, roll Tide! Roll, roll, roll Tide! It's fantastic, rockin' all the way down! Woo, 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 woo.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Brando. It's great to have you with us. You know, experience means everything at the championship level, and the defending champion, Georgia, does have experience, but they're very young. In fact, Suzanne Yocklin, their coach, told us this may be the youngest and deepest team that she's had in her many championship years at Georgia. And they are joined by SEC stalwarts Florida and Alabama in the Super Six. Nebraska and Utah have each been here before, and the Party Crashers are out of Iowa State. This is their first ever appearance in the Super Six. I am joined now by the 1996 team captain of the U.S. Olympic gold medal team, Amanda Borden. And Amanda, there's no denying Georgia is the favorite.
Absolutely, Tim. Last year, Georgia considered it a rebuilding year, and that led to a national championship. This year, they're even stronger with an additional two freshmen, Tiffany Tolnay, a strong all-arounder for the Georgia Gym Dogs, as well as two-time Olympic medalist Courtney Kupets, who's also this year's all-around champion. What has made them undefeated all season long, however, is the depth across the board on all four events, and that's what's going to make them tough to beat.
This Alabama team that they're going up against has got two outstanding All-Americas, Taryn Humphrey, the sophomore, and Ashley Miles, the senior.
That's right. Miles is closing out her career with Alabama. However, there's one thing she's missing, and that's a team title. Looking to help her do that is Taryn Humphrey, a two-time Olympic silver medalist. She brings confidence and experience to the lineup, and both Miles and Humphrey will be anchoring Alabama on all four events.
This Nebraska team is really an interesting story, Amanda. They won in their preliminary round, and they've got a quiet confidence about them.
That's right. They have no seniors on this team, so the leadership is falling on sophomore Emily Parsons. Coach Dan Kendig told us that before this championship started, any one of these teams could win it, and definitely don't count out Nebraska. They're confident about this competition, but the Huskers' confidence is going to be tested on their very first event, one of the toughest events, the balance beam.
In rotation one, Florida will be on the vault, Nebraska on that beam, Iowa State on floor exercise, Utah on the uneven bars, Alabama and Georgia have buys in the first rotation. There is Greg Marsden, 31 years at Utah. He's the only gymnastics coach to have recorded 800 wins. And first up, Dominique D'Oliveira, South African from Johannesburg. Her best score on this apparatus, 9.775. She did it twice this year.
Judges this year are looking for those lines, hitting the handstand position. Opening with a beautiful ginger, great form, legs didn't separate. Right here, this cast handstand needs to be straight to vertical. And again, right here again, landing. Very nice job.
So a quality start for Dominique D'Oliveira. Now remember, there are 6 competitors, but they do throw out the lowest score. Only 5 scores do count. And she's got to be pleased with that, a 9.775. Dan Kindig, you know, we talked about that quiet confidence this Nebraska team has. He understands that Georgia will have to make some mistakes, but he's very, very happy with the way his team has performed. Here's Michelle Zabawa on the beam.
Performing our flight series, back handspring, layout, step out, very solid. It's going to be a very difficult event to start on. There's a lot of adrenaline. The athletes need to control that adrenaline. Beautiful leap series.
Two-time All-American in her first 2 years at Nebraska.
Gainer layout, step out. A little bit of a balance check there. Getting ready for a dismount. Cartwheel full off the side. Very nice landing.
How difficult is it beginning on the beam in the national championships? Well, in the history of the Super Six dating back to '93, only twice, Utah in '95, and last year Georgia went on to win the title while beginning on the beam. There's Rhonda Fain, head coach at Florida, SEC Coach of the Year, a very accomplished gymnast herself, on the '88 Olympic team as an alternate. And here is Corey Hartung, freshman sensation out of Pennsylvania, second team All-SEC in her very first year on the vault.
She's performing the common Yurchenko full. Very nice. A slight hop in the landing. Because this vault is being done over and over by a lot of gymnasts, it's really important to go for a lot of height and stick that landing.
One of the very few to win the all-around in her very first collegiate event. Corey Hartung with 9.775 on the vault. KJ Kendler, the head coach at Iowa State, their first ever Super Six appearance. This is her 6th year as head coach. She began in '92 as an assistant. And Crystal Carney on floor exercise.
Very nice. Front full, front layout.
Senior from Aurora, Colorado. Was out all of 2005 with elbow surgery, so she's had a very productive year in helping them crash the party here in Corvallis.
Iowa State has very entertaining floor teams. You can hear the crowd really getting into their performances. And it looks like they're having fun too. One tumbling pass to go. Ending with a 1.5 punch front.
I'd say they've established some momentum. Iowa State, this is really a breakthrough for this program to get this far. KJ Kindler's got to be proud of Crystal Carney with a 9.70. And we're underway at the NCAA Championships.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships is sponsored by Singular, raising the bar. Coca-Cola, official fan refreshment of the NCAA. And powered by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA.
In the 1992 NCAA Championship, Utah's Missy Marlowe was simply dynamic in front of the home crowd. Her performance earned her titles in the all-around, bars, and beam, and helped lead the Utes to their 7th national title in just 11 years. There's Greg Marsden, the head coach at Utah. His team was absolutely dominant in the early years of this NCAA championship, winning 9 in the first 15 years, their last title coming 11 years ago. In fact, only 4 teams have ever won NCAA championships.
Well, and the big shock this year is that UCLA is not even here. Arkansas just beat them out, being the 2nd team to qualify to this competition from the South Central region.
Earlier, while Crystal Carney was on floor exercise, Nina Kim, outstanding freshman, was 4th in the all-around at regionals from Utah on the bars.
Getting ready for her release move. She pirouettes back over the bar. Great height there. Nina has beautiful form on this event. Whoop. A little over there on the handstand, but a great save. Winding up for the dismount, getting a lot of speed here on the Giants. Full twisting double back, a little short there on the landing. That's a very big step.
They cannot afford too many of those deductions. Utah's fan base always strong at this event. The score for Nina Kim, 9.65 on bars. Stephanie Carter from Nebraska on beam. Transfer out of Georgia Tech.
Very nice flexibility on her lead series. Looking for a clean landing on her dismount. A last impression left with the judges. Round off double full, little form in the air, and of course a hop on the landing.
You can really feel the tension when you begin on beam at any major event. It's almost as if survive and advance.
They just want to hit their routine, stay on that thing.
9.75, Dan Kindig offering some congratulations. Back to the vault, Savannah Evans of Florida out of Destin.
Yurchenko Arabian, slight hop in the landing there. And remember, these athletes only get one chance, so it's got to be a big vault and a good landing. Back when I competed, we had 2 shots.
No mulligans anymore, Amanda. 9.80 on the vault for Savannah Evans of Florida. And while Savannah was competing on the vault, Casey Oynes in floor exercise with a very unfortunate deduction for Iowa State.
The routine had some small mistakes throughout, this being one out of her front full, just a little too much momentum and went out of bounds there.
So Iowa State cannot afford another mistake in floor exercise, and the senior Erin Detloff now.
Beautiful landing there, that double tuck.
This is the time you want your anchor in all around to pick you up after your team is in trouble.
We've talked about the lineup before. You want to put somebody first up that's consistent, but you want your consistent and best gymnast at the end of that lineup.
Solid senior out of Omaha, Nebraska, Erin Detloff.
Very nice. Rudy, punch front. It's going to be a big score for Iowa State.
And they needed it. Erin Detloff, very pleased. No doubt KJ Kindler's happy too. That floor exercise gets a 9.80. Meanwhile, Florida back on vault. This is Tiffany Murray. 9 of a possible 13 vault titles this year alone. That's a school record.
She has a lot of power on this event. Yurchenko full, very nice. Great body position in the air. And again, focus on that landing.
All smiles, the super sophomore of Florida. And in the vault competition, Florida comes up just under 49. You notice Nicole Willis's number thrown out. That was the lowest at 9.75. Over at the bars, Ashley Postel. And if Utah is to make a run for this national championship, they will need her to score well. She is their best gymnast.
This is one of Ashley's best events. She's very dynamic. Beautiful Jaeger. Something you see from a lot of these college athletes that have been elite gymnasts. They have great lines. They hit all those handstands. Those are all very important in the routine. And of course, the dismount. A strong landing. Oh.
Well, that is not at all like Ashley Postel, is it?
Definitely not. She nailed that routine in prelim. She's probably nailed that dismount over and over.
Now, her mom is looking on, but Ashley well aware that this did not go well. A 9.20.
Well, let's take another look at the dismount. She was winding up right here. She needed to be a little more aggressive off the bar, and she needed her body extended straight out to get the height and the rotation. You can see she tucked in a little bit early. causing the rotation to be slow. She landed with her chest in front. If she could have gotten her feet through a little bit more, she wouldn't have taken these steps and put her knees down.
Meanwhile, over at the beam, problems for Desiree Snitinsky in Nebraska. While Erin Detloff was on Florex, she was on beam.
She didn't have any major mistakes, just a lot of wobbles, things that are caused by adrenaline. You can see that hop there, and that's just enough to take it down to a 9.65.
Now, the leader of this team is Emily Parsons, and particularly on beam. She had a 9.90 at the regionals, and they need a good score here.
She is just an all-around, very solid, aggressive competitor. And on this event, that's what makes a great routine or a great score. Somebody who's very aggressive and doesn't hold back.
Sophomore from St. Charles, Missouri.
Beautiful. You can just see on her face that she is determined to not make one error. One big skill left, and that's the dismount. Front 1.5, beautiful landing.
Just the kind of finish Dan Kindig needed from his anchor on this very difficult apparatus to open the NCAA championships. There you see the total team number with Snitinsky's score thrown out, 48.95. Overall, after the first rotation, no one really jumping out. All the scores under 49. And Dan Kindig is standing by with Amanda Borden. Amanda?
Dan, you started on one of the toughest events to start on a competition. You hit 6 for 6. What's to say about the confidence of your team?
Well, I mean, there's no question. They've been doing this day in and day out in practice. We've been practicing just for this moment, all year long for this moment. And they got up there and they handled the pressure and they did a great job. There's no question I'm happy. That's the event that's behind us. Not that I don't have confidence in them, but it's one of those events where you just never know.
When we come back, the defending champions look to march on. The Gym Dogs of Georgia on bars when we return. We get ready for rotation 2, and the defending champions, Georgia, will be on display on bars. Alabama with their first opportunity in floor exercise. Utah to the beam, and Iowa State on vault. Well, the last time the championship was held in Corvallis in '93, the Georgia Bulldogs were unstoppable, led by standouts such as Lori Strong, Hope Spivey, and Agina Simpkins. Georgia scored an unbelievable 5 perfect 10s en route to their 3rd national title.
I can remember the writer of the Gazette, Brooks Hatch, I even remember his name, said Georgia was in a league of their own, and we were. It was a very special time in collegiate history.
Suzanne Yocklin has been there for all of the national championships, and their chant here is bring it home. They've been bringing it home for many years. And the older of the Coupette sisters, Ashley Coupette Jr., is first up on bars.
Ashley leads this team because she's very consistent on this event. One thing that stands out about Georgia on the uneven bars is their lines. They hit almost every handstand that they perform. Beautiful full twisting to Tkachev. We mentioned the depth. Their first routine up is just about as good as this last routine up. Ending with the double tuck. Oops, a little short there on the landing. Be a slight deduction.
Ashley Coupette of Georgia gets things started for the team with all of that hardware with a 9.775. Speaking of hardware, there's a creative way to display your national titles exhibited by Sarah Patterson. 28 years at Alabama with 4 NCAA championships. Here is Ashley O'Neal.
It's their second tumbling pass, full front layout.
Freshman from Kennesaw, Georgia. You know, this is an event where Alabama probably needs to really score well because they've got a very difficult finish to this national championship.
The key to scoring well in this event, of course, is selling the routine, but of course, also hitting those tumbling passes.
I know this is the one the captain of the 96 team enjoyed most, right?
That's right. This was my favorite event because you get to get out there and show your personality, have fun, bring the crowd into your routine. One more tumbling pass to go. Beautiful double pike, and there's that landing we were talking about.
I was talking with Sarah Patterson earlier. This is one of the youngest teams she's ever had, and one of the freshman phenoms, Ashley O'Neill, with a very good start. 9.85. That's a career high for her on-floor exercise. Iowa State in their first ever Super Six, and Jessica Oney with some real trouble on vault.
She performed the Phelps vault, a Souk Arabian. You can see right there, really short on the landing, sat it down, and again, they don't get a second chance.
Over on the beam, freshman from Utah, Nina Kim.
Beautiful jump series. Nina is so beautiful on this event. She flows, has a lot of great movement, shows off great flexibility. Beautiful.
This young lady has really meant a lot to Utah towards the end of the year, especially. Her best score on this apparatus, 9.9.
Dismounting with the front full, beautiful landing, not a step.
She may be peaking at just the right time for Coach Marsden and Utah. Nina Kim, 9.85, her score. Back over at bars, speaking of outstanding freshmen, how about Tiffany Tolnay?
Another very aggressive gymnast on this event. You can see showing off those lines, making a point that she's hitting them. Beautiful Jaeger.
She has a lot of power, doesn't she?
That's right. She's making it very clear that she's hitting vertical on every handstand, almost to the point that she's holding that position. She gets ready for her dismount. Double front. Very nice.
Tiffany Tolnay and her dad, Cotton, he was out at prelims yesterday. He's not run out of tape yet. And the Georgia freshman scores a 9.85 on bars. KJ Kindler in Iowa State now understanding that they can ill afford another problem on vault. And the veteran Aaron Detloff coming off that outstanding floor exercise with a 9.80.
Yurchenko Arabian. Oh, let's see. Not enough height there off the vault, and of course a rough landing.
Well, this is real trouble, and the look on her face says it all. She knows, she's been around.
Well, if you watch when she hits the horse, she's a little bit high on, and her body shape is actually closed a little bit early. She needed to keep her feet back in a nice tight arch so she can get a snap up off the vault. You can see there was no lift there, which caused a short landing. The wrong angle, it's almost impossible to fight for a landing when you're coming in at that angle.
Iowa State must count a fall on the vault. And again, a 9.125. She's very upset. Meanwhile, Georgia's Katie Heenan, the sophomore from Virginia, on bars.
Beautiful line right there. Excellent Jaeger, catching at a perfect distance to continue her swing. Wow. It's hard to find a deduction in some of these routines.
So many freshmen and sophomores.
Double front, perfect landing.
Jay Clark, the assistant coach, recognized in a hurry how important that was for Katie Heenan, as does Suzanne Yacklin. That ties a career high, 9.925. Coming up next, the 06 all-around champion. 6 individual NCAA titles and 4 Olympic medals between Courtney Kupets, Ashley Miles, and Taryn Humphrey. For up-to-the-minute sports news, real-time scores, outspoken writers, exclusive video, and award-winning fantasy sports, go to CBSSportsline.com. Perhaps the greatest champion in NCAA gymnastics history, Kentucky's Jenny Hansen won 8 individual titles, including 3 straight all-around crowns from 93 to 95. During her career, she became the first woman ever to score a perfect 10 on vault and was the recipient of 13 All-America honors.
Jenny was one of the most powerful, yet the most consistent college gymnast I've ever seen in competition.
And we continue here on the vault at the 25th anniversary of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. In the second rotation, they've already had to count a fall, Iowa State. Here's Janet Anson.
She's doing a very difficult Yurchenko 1.5. Oh, short there on that landing again. You can see the momentum of this team has really dropped.
Some high anxiety, to be sure, and KJ Kindler knew this. These were uncharted waters, really, for her team. You see their overall score on the vault, less than 48. Not good at all. 47.85. Alabama sophomore All-America Taryn Humphrey in her floor exercise.
Every time I watch Taryn, I see that confidence. She's so calm as a competitor. You see her left ankle is actually taped. She struggled with this ankle soreness throughout this competition and the second half of the season.
She has been a real stalwart for this team. They really relied heavily on Ashley Miles in a couple of the events, and also Taryn Humphrey to really prop up this team.
Catching her breath. Finishing with a double pipe. Wow. Doesn't seem like that ankle affected that tumbling pass.
Floor X may be where Miles really flexes her muscles, but Taryn Humphrey with a quality routine for Alabama. Her mom and dad, Steve and Lisa, looking on. Part of the Alabama contingent, making it down from the capstone with a score of 9.70. Over at the beam, Nicole Ford, a 4-time All-America, won the beam at the regionals as well as the all-around championship.
Well, Utah had a rough start on bars, and then coming to this event can really challenge the confidence of a team, and they have really done a great job of picking the energy back up. It's been a very solid routine. Beautiful punch front. This is an event where the momentum carries. The first routine goes up, gets a good score, and that momentum carries throughout the rest of the competitors.
Yeah, and after a tough start in the opening rotation for Utah, this is exactly what they need to have happen in the second rotation.
Beautiful round off double full, and again, not giving a 10th away. Very solid routine.
Utah trying to make a comeback on the beam, and Nicole Ford with an outstanding score, 9.90. Over into bars, Kelsey Erickson. Now, she had problems for Georgia in the prelims, falling off the bars.
We've talked about the power with Georgia, the aggressiveness. Right here, she casted a handstand and went right over.
And obviously, Suzanne Yocklin is wary of the fact that Erickson had the problem yesterday, but she ranks 3rd, Amanda, in this event through the course of the year, so she should do well on bars.
Well, here's where it happened in the prelims. She got it today. Great start. Beautiful Tkachev. Coming back with another release move. Pike Jaeger, perfect. There really hasn't been a significant deduction throughout this whole routine, ending with a Arabian double front. Wow.
Oh, I'd say she nailed that one.
Wow.
And you know, that's got to make the entire team feel pretty good about the prospects for the rest of the day.
That's right. It sets up the next person. You can see a 9.95, not much deduction, and that's the kind of roll Georgia needs right now.
Back to the beam we go, and Ashley Postel trying to bounce back after the problems she had earlier on bars.
Beautiful, full twisting, that handspring swing down. Ashley has a lot of international experience, so she knows how to bounce back. Back handspring layout, very solid. When you're on the balance beam, the minute you mount that balance beam, you can tell if you're solid. There have been no major wobbles throughout this routine. Just the dismount left. Round off double full.
Oh, yeah. That was buttoned up, wasn't it?
What a great routine.
Ashley Postel, a 5-time All-American a year ago as a freshman. And Utah has, in fact, bounced back on the beam. Look at that score, 49.325. Ashley Postel with a 9.95 leading the way. And now Courtney Kupets, the outstanding freshman from Georgia. After her intense training helped earn 2 medals at the 2004 Olympic Games, Courtney Kupets is now a college student who's found renewed vigor for her sport.
I've just started enjoying gymnastics so much more this year, and that's one thing that college has really given me. I've started to love it again instead of have it be like a work.
Kupets became the Gym Dogs' first all-around champion since Kim Arnold in 1998, as she wowed the crowd in the preliminary round with a strong showing. Capping off with a dazzling floor exercise, she certainly wasn't finished putting a stamp on her freshman season, though, as she went on to share individual honors on both beam and bars, earning the first individual title by a Georgia gymnast since Corey Fritzinger in 2001. Amanda, this is some resume for Courtney Kupets.
You know, the best part about this is to have been so successful, to go to the Olympics and continue to love what she does. You can see it on her face and you can see it in her performance. This is one of her best events. She has beautiful form, perfect lines. You will not see her legs come apart on any of the skills she does. Beautiful Tkachev. She ends with a double layout.
Oh.
Slight step there in the landing.
But what an advantage it is for Suzanne Yacklin to know that she's got that kind of elite anchor in this event. A solid start for Georgia. 49.475 on bars. Now Alabama, Melanie Banville on the floor, scored a 9.90, the Canadian star.
She had beautiful tumbling throughout this routine. Pike full in, great landing. And a beautiful double pike. Again, those landings are what makes those big scores.
But it's Ashley Miles from Alabama that is best right here on floor. In fact, she felt she should have won this event a year ago.
Every time I watch her, I am amazed at the kind of power, the height, and the form she has on this tumbling. Wow, perfect. That's hard to do, Tim, let me tell you.
You asked Sarah Patterson, her coach, who's the most powerful gymnast she's ever coached, and it's a quick response. It's Ashley Miles.
Front full, front loud, not giving a tenth away on these landings.
I love her appreciation of classic rock.
You can see the crowd getting into it. As you move into that last tumbling pass, sometimes you need the energy to pump you up from your teammates and your crowd. So when they start clapping like that, it really does affect your performance level.
It's her traditional seat drop.
Well, that would be the signature move.
That's right.
Yeah.
Last tumbling pass. Double pike.
How about that?
Wow.
Is there a sense of purpose for Ashley Miles? You bet there is. And her mom, Shireen, very proud, as well she should be. The Alabama team score on floor, outstanding. Right there with Georgia, 49.375. So they are holding serve for the SEC. And as you look at our current standings, brought to you by Coca-Cola, an NCAA corporate champion. You see Utah with the lead, but on average, Alabama trailing Georgia. And KJ Kindler, the Iowa State coach, standing by with Amanda Borden.
KJ, you've been the head coach of the Cyclones for the last 6 years. What does this first ever Super 6 appearance mean to you?
Well, it's a huge milestone for our program. We've only been to nationals 3 times, so to make the Super 6 and break into such an elite group, wow, I mean, we're thrilled.
Well, you have 2 more events to go. What are you going to tell your team to pump up the energy?
Well, we had a rough time on vault, as you saw. We haven't counted a fall in 3 years, so it's a little shocking to us. Yeah, they're definitely going to need to pick it up. We need to finish with some pride here and show them what Cyclone is all about.
We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station.
You're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day. You had a bad day.
We welcome you back to the Guild Coliseum here in Corvallis, Oregon, the 25th anniversary of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. In individual competition, LSU's April Burkholder shared the beam title with Courtney Kupets with a score of 9.9125. Burkholder became just the second Tiger NCAA individual champion, joining Nicole Arnstead, who won the floor exercise in 2002.
Well, it feels great. You know, this is my last year, and I really wanted to just come out here and have fun in all 4 events and just do my best, so I'm happy about it.
On the uneven bars, Utah's Christina Basquette also shared the title with Kupets, scoring a 9.85. Basquette's performance was the school's 23rd individual honor, but only the 4th on bars.
Words can't explain how I feel right now. I'm just excited to be here.
And on the floor, Kate Richardson made sure perennial powerhouse UCLA was represented. She scored a 9.95 to close out her career with a 3rd individual title, adding to the beam and bars, trophy she earned in 2003.
It's kind of surreal, all this at the moment. I don't really know what to feel. I mean, this is more than I could ask for going out on a note like that. Sort of fairy tale-ish.
Our congratulations to all of the individual champions here. Now it's time for rotation number 3. Alabama moves to vault. Georgia's #1 in the country on beam. Florida will be on bars, and Nebraska in floor X. Iowa State and Utah get by. So far, so good for Suzanne Yocklin's team. They have survived, Amanda, some scares, but their overall team depth has really been the difference. Here's Kelsey Erickson, who did very well on bars. Now she's on beam.
I led this event in the Olympics, and I can tell you it is a very stressful position. You're setting up the team. Want to build momentum. Here comes our flight series, back handspring layout. Oh, wow. That's not the kind of momentum Georgia needs right now. With their first gymnast up, this puts pressure on the next 5 competitors.
They have been so very consistent, though, when their backs have been against the wall. So problems for Georgia there. For Alabama, not much better on vault. Caitlin White with only a 9.55.
On her Yurchenko full, she came in kind of low. She didn't have much height off the vault, just a short landing. A little bit of form breaks there in the air as well.
Alabama cannot afford another mistake. And here's Taryn Humphrey. Scored a 9.70 on floor exercise.
Yurchenko full. Slight hop there on the landing, but that's a great vault for Taryn.
Her mother, Lisa, dad, Steve, cheering her on. And obviously, they need great scores the rest of the way after that problem early. 9.80 for Taryn Humphrey. Want to go back and show you now the fall for Kelsey Erickson on the beam earlier. You see her score only 9.325, Amanda.
She struggled on her tumbling series right here, back handspring layout.
You can see out of the back handspring, she's pretty straight, but when she lands, that back foot and her hips completely sideways, and there's just no way to stay on when the balance beam's only 4 inches wide.
Over at the bars from England, sophomore Nicola Willis. Mom was a British swimming champion. Her dad, an international speedway motorbike rider, so always a daring approach to life in her family.
Starting right out with the release move. Ginger, very nice form. Shoots a handstand. This can be the toughest part of the routine. You're getting a little bit fatigued. She gets ready for that dismount. Double layout. Perfect landing. Nice job.
Yeah, she's got to be happy with that performance. Florida, in many ways, really building their program in the solid SEC. You see Rhonda Fain, the coach. And a 9.825 for Nicola Willis. There you see the anxiety on the face of Suzanne Yocklin. And the reason for that, Audrey Bowers scoring only a 9.70. They'll have to count that. She's getting a hug there from Julie Clark.
Well, you have to know that they're feeling the pressure. She had bobbles throughout, and here's her dismount. A little loose on the takeoff, short on the landing, and a step forward.
Meanwhile, back over at the vault, Melanie Banville. This is important for them now to stay close to Georgia.
She has a very powerful Yurchenko full. Perfect landing. That's going to be a big score for Alabama.
And they really needed it, too. Melanie Banville, another one of the many outstanding young gymnasts on this team. That's a career high, 9.90. And let's go over to Tiffany Tolnay. Speaking of outstanding freshmen, she really sparked this Georgia team on beam the last half of the year.
Very nice back handspring layout. Once you get that flight series out of the way, still have to stay focused, but there's definitely a relief off of your back. Beautiful punch front. Showing great flexibility in that leap series. Every gymnast required to perform leaps, tumbling series, a mount, full turn, and of course the dismount right here. Back handspring, double tuck. Very difficult, nice job. That dismount's tough because it takes a lot of leg strength, a lot of energy, and of course looking for that tight landing.
Look at that number, and if you want to avoid slippage, those kinds of scores will help. Now in floor exercise, Kylie Stone of Nebraska. Kylie is from Calgary, Alberta, and continuing with a growing trend we've seen in women's gymnastics of those from north of the border making an impact. Kate Richardson of UCLA. We mentioned Banville earlier of Alabama.
Kylie's first 2 passes were flawless as she gets ready for that last tumbling run. Beautiful form on the double pike, and again, another strong landing.
She's got to be pleased. Dan Kindig's Nebraska team a bit under the radar coming in. Solid performance in floor exercise for Kylie Stone with a 9.925. Coming up, it's this year's beam champion and 3-time vault champion, Courtney Kupets. Ashley Miles, 2 of the best.
Our conference is so competitive and it's so strong. I think it is genuinely the toughest conference in the country.
The reason we are that way is because we make each other that way. We force each other, we push each other, we are competitive.
Winning is contagious, and you know, I really believe next year we'll probably have 6 teams from the SEC that are in the NCAAs. I think that's very, very possible.
Amanda, why is this league so dominant?
Well, outside of UCLA, the SEC schools draw the elite Olympic athletes. In fact, Georgia will be getting another Olympian with Courtney McCool next year.
Meanwhile, freshman Brittany McGee of Alabama on vault. Shared floor and vault titles with Ashley Miles at regionals.
Huge Yurchenko full. Great landing.
Oh, that's big.
And you can tell she's excited about that.
Yeah, they're screaming roll tide, and why not? 9.90 on the vault, keeping them right in the thick of the title chase. Ashley Reed of Florida from Davie, Florida, voted co-captain. Her best score ever on bars, 9.90.
Very nice line on that shoot to handstand. Beautiful release move to Tkachev. Dismount, double layout, beautiful body position in the air, and a great landing as well.
Just the kind of finish she wanted. And the Florida contingent is happy as well. 9.85 for Ashley Reed on bars. Well, earlier, this is Courtney Kupets, the co-champion in beam in 2006. Obviously one of her best events.
Beautiful flight series. Courtney is so confident on this event. You can just see it in her face, but you can also see it in her movements. She commands her body to go right where she wants it. Punch front, right to a wolf jump. The thing that's great about watching Courtney at the collegiate level is that she has not really watered down a lot of her routine. She's really kept her skill level up. Switch leap, right to a gainer layout. Not a bobble anywhere throughout this entire routine, and one more thing to go. Very difficult dismount. This has been a packed routine, so she has to make sure these legs are ready for her 2 back handsprings. Right to a double tuck. Wow.
I believe everyone in the building knows she's pretty good on this apparatus. Man, oh man, what a performance by Courtney Kupets. 9.95, that ties a career high. And coming up next, third round coverage from the Wachovia Championship, the PGA Tour on CBS Sports. And there is Ashley Miles awaiting a vital vault in her career. And this is an event she has absolutely owned throughout her years at Alabama. The 2003 and 04 individual champion followed up those performances with a stellar showing in last year's Super 6 by scoring a perfect 10. And this year, she closed out her career with yet another individual title. But now she's trying to channel some of that attention elsewhere.
I've been leading by example and putting my energy into other people, the younger ones on the team, just to take the focus off of myself so you don't get caught up in the, the drama of this is my last year, and enjoy every moment.
Ashley's power has definitely helped her win those titles. She is amazing on all the events, but especially on vault and floor.
A school record 10 NCAA regional titles, but that elusive team title, the one missing piece. And she knows just how important this vault is to get it.
She's got the power. The question is, can she control it? And she did. Great landing. This event can quite often be tough if you're really powerful. You over-rotate things, have trouble landing, but Ashley knows exactly what to do to make a perfect landing. She comes straight off the horse, beautiful position in the air, sees the ground, and spots it. Beautiful.
So a 9.95 for Ashley Miles, and as a team, Alabama escapes early problems on vault for 49.40. So what about Georgia on the beam? Can they escape the early fall they had? And here's Katie Heenan.
Well, if anybody can handle the pressure of anchoring this event, it is definitely Katie. She's very consistent. Back handspring layout, step out. You can tell right off the top she's confident in what she's doing, and that's what's going to make the difference on this event. Very nice jump series. You can see a smile on her face. That's usually a sign of once I get past this, I'm on a roll.
Can Georgia once again dodge an early mistake?
She needs a clean landing right here. Round off double full.
They did it.
Very nice.
How about that? And both Suzanne Yocklin and Katie Heenan know it. Look at that score, and they really did dodge a bullet there. 49.20. Meanwhile, over at floor exercise, Emily Parsons. Watch how explosive Parsons is in this event.
Double layout, beautiful. You can see she's actually landing on a 4-inch mat. That's allowed in collegiate gymnastics, as long as they don't step on that white carpet or out of bounds.
"34 individual event titles for her this year at Nebraska.
Getting ready for her second tumbling pass. Front handspring full front. Fly spring right to a jump. That's a great way to hide that landing because you can't take a step if you go right to the ground. You mentioned the power. She has beautiful jumps right there. It's been a beautiful routine so far. One more landing to go. Front double full. Clean performance.
Emily Parsons of Nebraska. Her score 9.925, 49.30 for the Huskers. So they're bouncing back.
Awesome, man.
And as for Georgia, their two toughest events behind them now head for a bye in the next rotation. As for their rival, Alabama, they march off with a narrow lead at the halfway mark, and it has been the Ashley Miles show to this point as we look at our standings, brought to you by Singular, an NCAA corporate champion. Alabama has the narrow lead, and it is quickly becoming a two-team race. And here's Amanda Borg with Alabama coach Sarah Patterson.
Sarah, what a great start to the competition. You always seem to end up with this rotation, starting on floor, ending on the balance beam. So far, it seems to have paid off.
Well, I think it's the third time, hopefully, is a charm. We did this at regionals. We've done the first night, now the second night. So I think we're used to it. The ladies started off great. They've done exactly what I wanted them to do. I couldn't ask for anything more right now.
Well, Miles has been a solid anchor on floor and vault. Now you have Taryn up on bars and beam. What's the mindset as you go into these last two events?
Oh, I think the ladies are excited. I think they know that anything can happen on any given night, and I think this team is hopefully on a roll.
Her Alabama team has a bye in the next rotation, and they're headed for a championship showdown. Nebraska, Florida, Iowa State, and Utah all had the opportunity to impress early, but none seemed to be up to the task. Meanwhile, Bama's Ashley Miles was all smiles as she and her Crimson Tide teammates quickly showed this was shaping up as a two-team race, along with defending champion Georgia. After strong showings on the bars and beam, the Gym Dogs were pumped and looking to close in on more glory. We welcome you back to the 25th anniversary edition of the Women's NCAA Gymnastics Championships here in Corvallis, Oregon, alongside Amanda Borden, Tim Brando. It's shaping up as a dual meet in the SEC between the defending champion Georgia and Alabama. And the Gym Dogs are making mistakes, but overcoming them.
That's right. They had a rocky start on the balance beam, but they still counted 5 solid scores. Alabama, great showing on the vault. Miles finishing it up with a 9.95. But Alabama is ending on that make-or-break event, the balance beam, whereas Georgia has the floor and vault left. And in all reality, there's only 5/10 separating first place and third place, so there is no room for error.
We move ahead to the 4th rotation. Nebraska will be on the vault, Florida the beam, Iowa State bars, and Utah in floor X. Alabama and Georgia, as we mentioned, have buys in this rotation. And here's Michelle Zabawa of Nebraska on the vault.
Yurchenko full. See that large step on the landing and not as much height as we have seen throughout the competition on that vault.
9.75 the score for Michelle Zabawa of Nebraska. Christine Riffanak, 2-time All-America from Cheshire, Connecticut, coming off a high ankle sprain earlier this year for Utah on floor X.
They did a great job on the balance beam. Should really get them pumped up for this event.
When you think about it, Utah's come a long way since the opening apparatus.
Right, they had a rough start, but this is one of the many events in gymnastics that you really get to go out and it's showtime. Have a great time out here. Of course, the most important part, the landings of the tumbling. See a large step forward there, but that has to be a great start for Utah.
Christine Riffanak getting Utah out to the quality start they wanted in this floor exercise where you can show your stuff. 9.75 her score. While Riffanak was on floor X, Ashley Reed of Florida on beam. She's had a good day.
First person up on this event really sets the tone for the rest of the team. So far, it's been a solid performance. Very nice jump series. Round off double full. Very nice start for Florida.
Yeah, and Rhonda Fain very happy with that effort. This program has come a long way in a short period of time. 9.775 for Ashley Reed. And we'll be back with more from Corvallis. Get complete NCAA championships coverage, including recaps and results from each event at ncaasports.com, the official site of NCAA Sports. The University of Nebraska boasts 2 all-around champions, both of which were accomplished in the last 6 years. Heather Brink became the first Cornhusker to earn that honor in 2000 and was followed just 3 years later by Rochelle Simpson. Another of the memorable moments was made in '97 when Nebraska's first Super 6 appearance led to Dan Kindig wearing this tuxedo. They've had 8 Super 6 finishes since 1997. There's Dan, and he's looking ahead now to Emily Parsons, his best on vault.
Emily's only a sophomore, and she is definitely the best all-arounder on this team, and I think in the next 2 years we may see her have a chance at that title. Beautiful Yurchenko full. Got great distance there. Solid landing.
And a great score to go with it. 9.95 for Emily Parsons. She's really the future of this Nebraska program. Now we're going to get our first look at Samantha Lutz on the beam. Junior from Grove City, Ohio.
Florida started this rotation with a pretty solid routine. And quite often the goal on this event is to hit 6 for 6. Very nice jump series. Samantha has a very creative dismount coming up. Quite honest, it's a little risky as well. She's actually doing her flight series into the dismount. Back handspring layout.
Oh.
To a full twist. Great job. I'm telling you, if you're crooked on that flight series, there goes the dismount too.
And Rhonda Fain very pleased. She should be. Samantha Lutz with a 9.825 for the Gators. And over in Florex, a bit of a problem for Utah. Just a 9.675 for Christina Basquet.
You know, when you're going for these tumbling passes, your first priority is to make it, which quite often leads to stepping out of bounds from running too far or running a little extra hard.
This is the young lady from Berlin, Britt Hoffman. She's believed to be the oldest gymnast in NCAA Division I. She's 25 years of age.
I appreciate that. I competed till I was 23, and I thought that was tough. Front through to double tuck. A little short there on the landing. Using Irish dance music. The crowd loves this.
You really get a sense, too, of more of an international flair to that Florex routine by Britt Hoffman of Utah. They're making a comeback. Look out for them. As you look at that score for Hoffman, they throw out baskets, and Utah has 49.175 on Florex. So after the performance by Britt Hoffman, Utah gets the lead for the moment, but as we average out those scores, it is still that two-team race we were talking about, Alabama and Georgia. And backstage, our Amanda Borden is with Georgia's Suzanne Yochlin.
Well, Suzanne, you had the two big events out of the way. Bars was phenomenal. Beam started out rocky, but your team held it together.
They did, and I told them coming into the competition that mistakes are not going to cause us to lose the meet. It's how we react to the mistakes. So actually we had a small mistake first up on bars and came back strong, and then that mistake on beam, which could have been costly, but they did hold it together.
Well, you're heading into two of your best events. How's your team feeling?
Well, I'm sure they're feeling a little relieved right now to get those difficult two out of the way, and I think they'll come out having a lot of fun and just rocking.
You'll see them when we come back right after this message and a word from your local station. You're due. We're at Oregon State University on the campus in Corvallis. Tim Brando alongside Amanda Borden. Happy to have you with us as we await rotation number 5 at the Gill Coliseum of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships, the Silver Anniversary Edition. In addition to celebrating their appearance at this year's championship, host Oregon State provided the most inspiring moment. In the preliminary round, senior captain Chrissy Lehman competed in her final collegiate meet in front of an adoring home crowd. Most notably cheering in the stands, Lehman's mother, Sandy, who had made the trip from the family's home in Reno despite suffering from an advanced stage of ALS.
To have her here, like physically watching, and I can look up in the stands and see her, it gives me that extra strength to compete and just, calm myself down and say, you know what, I can do this. It's gymnastics, and this is for you.
Georgia and Alabama are competing for a national championship, but I think it goes without saying, Chrissy Lehman and her family provided the moment of this championship. But coming off a bye in rotation 4, Alabama and Georgia preparing for the 5th rotation. Alabama will be on bars. Georgia, number 1 in the country in Florex, will be competing there. Utah on the vault, Iowa State the beam. Suzanne Yochlin smelling it. Her team really knows that this is their strength, a chance to repeat. And here is Abby Stack, freshman, another great freshman on this team.
This is one of their best events, not just because they have dynamic tumbling, they always have great choreography. Very exciting routines to watch. Front through to whip, immediate double full. You can see she's happy with that tumbling pass as well.
Abby scored a 9.9, her highest score at UCLA earlier this year for Georgia.
One tumbling pass to go. Ending with a double pike. Very nice landing. Great start for the Gym Dogs.
Suzanne Yoklin told you, Amanda, they would be loose in floor exercise, and I'd say this is a great start. Look at that score to lead it off, a 9.85 for Abby Stack. That's some creative toenails for Ashley Miles, sending the message for her Crimson Tide in search of a first team title in her career. She's been outstanding. Now her coach, Sarah Patterson, in quest of a 5th national championship while Stack was competing. Ashley Miles leading the way on bars for Alabama.
We've talked about her power all day long. She's 5'7". This is an event you'd think might be difficult for her, but it's not. Her power plays a huge part in these release moves. Right here, beautiful. Here comes the dismount. Giant full. Double layout. Small step there, but great routine.
And they need big scores because they understand that Georgia's #1 in floor X. They've got to absolutely hold serve as long as they can on this apparatus. 9.80 the score for Ashley Miles. Nina Kim, her best ever score was 9.925 out of Utah on vault.
Yurchenko full, great landing. That could be good enough to get that 9.925 today.
Well, Greg Marsden, their coach, very happy, and Utah making a run. Their fan base, they won't have to travel far next year. The NCAA championships will be held in Salt Lake City. And Kim scored close, a 9.90 as Utah continues its comeback bid. Back to floor X. Here's Ashley Kupets.
Wow, great height there on that double pike. In prelims, she struggled on one of the tumbling passes, stepping out of bounds, which is a 10th of a deduction. She always has an entertaining routine. The crowd always loves it. Popular music used. Front full, front layout.
I think this is the part she likes.
Again, there's that creative choreography with the music. She gets ready for her last tumbling pass. She gets tremendous height on this double tuck. Looking for a clean landing. Excellent.
Oh, look at that. What a finish for Ashley Kupets. Older sister of Courtney. And Suzanne Yoklin's Gym Dogs are doing the job in floor X. 9.90 for Ashley Kupets. And now Marie Baer out of San Jose, California, while Kupets was on floor X. Here she is on the bars.
Starting it off with a pike Jaeger. Very nice. Excellent line there in the handstand, as well as the shoot to handstand. They have to hit these lines right here at vertical to get above that 9.8 range. And of course, sticking the landing. Nice routine.
Her best ever was 9.85, and this was certainly the most important routine she's had on the uneven bars. And she is pumped. She matched it, matching her best 9.85 on bars. Back over the floor exercise, Tiffany Tolnay.
Beautiful Beautiful double Arabian. Oh, right there on the landing. That's actually a very difficult landing because you can't see the floor before you land.
She was actually fortunate she didn't step out.
Getting ready for her second tumbling pass. Front full, front layout. Much better landing there.
You know, she admits to being nervous, and but sometimes that's what gets her going.
That's right. Every time I competed, I got nervous. It didn't matter how much experience I had, and I think as long as you channel those nerves productively, it ends up giving you adrenaline for competition. Got to be a clean landing right here. Double pike. Step forward there, but pretty solid routine.
Tiffany Tolnay, another freshman phenom for Suzanne Yaklin, and her father Cotton still zooming in with a score of 9.80 for the Gym Dogs. And while Tiffany Tolnay was performing, over on the bars, Melanie Banville, the SEC Bars champion. She's also a Dean's List student with a 4.0 GPA.
Beautiful toe to handstand. Giant full, right to a Tkachev. Very nice first half of the bar routine. Getting ready for the dismount. Double layout, very nice. Great form throughout that entire routine.
You know, at the regional, she finished second overall with a 9.9. Sarah Patterson with the hug as they try to match with Georgia's excellence on floor X, 9.875 for Melanie Banville. And when we come back, Courtney Kupets will lead the Gym Dogs against the challenge of Taryn Humphrey in Alabama. 10 years ago, Alabama played host to the NCAA championship, and the Tide and their fans truly were rolling. An array of dazzling performances helped Bama set, at the time, the NCAA team scoring record, as Sarah Patterson's squad would celebrate a third national championship. That scoring title held until UCLA broke it in 2004. And the last time they won a title was in 2002. 3 of her 4 championships coming at home in Tuscaloosa. Here's Dana Folletti. Dana, a senior from Chesapeake, Virginia. Her season high on this apparatus, 9.825. And believe me, they need that and then some against the challenge of Georgia.
She starts the routine off right away with the release move. Ginger, great form. Coming right back with a shoot to handstand, again showing those great lines. Dismounting with a double front. Beautiful, that's a blind landing, and she stuck it cold.
Yeah, that may be her best effort all year. Certainly that seems to be her reaction. Look at that, a 9.875, her best. Just underway on the floor, Kelsey Erickson of Georgia.
She had a mistake on the balance beam, but this would be the event, the easiest event to pull back. Front handspring, front full, very nice. You can see very close to the boundary as well. Good thing she didn't overrotate that one. Kelsey uses a lot of crowd-pleasing music.
Yeah, she knows where LaGrange is. I like that.
Here comes that last tumbling pass. Beautiful double tuck, perfect landing. She definitely pulled it back together on this event.
As Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top would say, have mercy. And her dad is pretty excited too. That's Mark from Cincinnati, Ohio. He knows how important that was, as does her teammates. 9.95, that ties a career high. I'd say she's rebounded from the problems on the beam. Now Christina Basquette on the vault for Utah.
Yurchenko 1.5, very difficult, beautiful landing.
Now they're trying to lock down third place and may be well on their way with that score by Basquette. Look at it, 9.95 for Christina Basquette. Here is Taryn Humphrey, 2005 NCAA Bars champion. She's really carried Alabama on this apparatus.
Well, this is the event we think of when we think of Taryn Humphrey. At the Olympics, as a college gymnast as well. Beautiful form, great release moves. It's been a beautiful routine. Just the dismount to go, double layout. Very nice.
They really can't ask for much more from their gymnasts, can I mean, they've been outstanding on the bars.
Well, they've had gorgeous routines and, of course, almost perfect landings.
Look at that, 9.90. The total score, 49.30. They really can't ask for much more, but they're still losing ground to Georgia. Here's Courtney Kupets, just underway on Florex.
Front tumbling pass, beautiful. She is so fun to watch on this event because when you watch her gymnastics, you automatically think of perfection. Her extension, her jumps, her tumbling.
It really helps to have a two-time Olympic medalist at this time in the event, right?
Oh, definitely. Very creative choreography. And it looks like the whole team knows that part as she gets ready for her last tumbling pass. Beautiful double pike, and she knows that she just did one of her best routines.
Yes, she did. Courtney Kupets, and there finally we see her mom. There's Patty. Well, it's not a 10, but it's close, at 9.925. And look at the numbers, 49.425 after 5 rotations. Utah with the lead, but on average, it is Georgia that has overtaken the lead against Alabama. And Amanda standing by with Greg Marsden, head coach of Utah.
Greg, on your first event, rough start. I'm sure not quite what you're looking for. Your team rallied as they went to the beam, posting the highest beam score of the competition. It carried to floor onto vault. You counted 5 scores above a 9.8.
Yeah, I'm proud of how we fought back. It was a rough start, as you said. I mean, for Ashley to miss, she never misses that bar set, and Nina had problems, and so we had to count a low score there. And you just, in this kind of a competition with this many great teams, there's no room for error whatsoever. But I was very proud that the team didn't let that get them down. They came back and really finished with 3 strong events.
When we come back, Georgia to vault for back-to-back titles. Bama will try to catch him on the beam. Coming up on coverage of the Wachovia Championship here on CBS. And we now move to the final rotation as Georgia looks to vault to a repeat championship with Alabama chasing on the beam. Now, you may recall that Alabama last won a national championship in 2002, and they did finish, Amanda, on the beam, but they led going into that apparatus in the final rotation. So there is a difference. And here is Megan Dowland, the sophomore who replaced Brittany Smith, the only senior for Georgia who fell in the prelims.
Yurchenko full, and a much better start. That's what they're looking for in the lead off vaulter.
Suzanne Yocklin loves it. And Dowland with a 9.875. That ties a career high for the Rowlett, Texas native. Alabama back at the beam, Brittany McGee. Scored her career best 9.875 on this event.
Very nice flight series, back handspring layout. ending on this event is a lot of pressure, and of course you have vault right behind them. Lots of cheering going on over there, so this is going to really test their concentration. Beautiful turn. And a very solid routine, exactly what Alabama's looking for on this event. Punch front. Run up double tuck. Small hop there, but again, that's a very difficult dismount.
Psychologically, that's got to do a lot for Alabama to get started that way. 9.85 for Brittany McGee. Back over the vault. Here's Katie Heenan. She's in the top 20 in the country on vault. Ranked 18th nationally.
She is very powerful. Beautiful Yurchenko full and perfect landing. And she knows it.
Bling it home. That's been their chant. That it was bring it home a few years ago. Now it's bling it home. They want to add to their hardware. Have a little more jewelry. Back on beam, Melanie Banville.
Slight balance check there. To hold up to some of those vault scores, these routines need to be flawless. And see, just the little bobbles, that's going to take them out of that 9-9 range.
Remember, just a freshman, a lot to deal with.
On this event, when your nerves get to you, definitely what happens is you doubt yourself a little bit, and that's where those little balance checks and those bobbles come into play. Your number one priority is to stay on the event instead of going after the skill as hard as you can. Comes the dismount, run off double full. Very nice finish.
And there were times that she appeared to be maybe shaky. She came through it nicely. Another freshman sensation, Melanie Banville, 9.825. Keeping Alabama within distance of Georgia. Ashley Coupetz now.
Ashley has a huge vault. Half on pike front off. See a little bit there. Looks like her legs buckled a little bit, but she has to be pleased with that.
They just want to get to the anchor. They can smell another title. The opportunity to repeat, 9.85 on the vault for Ashley Coupetz. Now over on beam, and what is her final collegiate appearance. Ashley Miles of Alabama.
She's had an amazing day today. And you can see on her face she is determined to help her team keep it together in this event. Back handspring, lay out, step out. To keep pace with Georgia, they're looking at having to get 9 9s on this event. It's very tough to do that because not only do they have to stick the landing, there can be no movement on any of these skills. So far, it's been a great routine. She's a big dismount. Run off double full, and again, showing off that she didn't give a 10th away on that landing.
Her mother, Shireen, very excited, and what a way to go out, huh? Ashley Miles tying her career high, 9.90. When we come back, Ken Erickson, Coupetz, and Tolnay nailed down another championship for the Gym Dogs.
Look at some.
We're back in Corvallis, Oregon at the Gill Coliseum along with Amanda Borden, Tim Brando at the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. Alabama and Georgia going for the title here. And there's Corey Fritzinger. Corey calling radio for Georgia, 2001 NCAA vault champion. Never won a team title, though. And Kelsey Erickson, who was up while Ashley Miles was on beam, here on the vault.
Very dynamic vault. Beautiful Yurchenko full. We've seen this vault all day long, but something that sets them apart is the great height, the clean position in the air, and of course the landings.
She's happy, and so are the teammates. That ties a career high, 9.95, getting ever closer to that national championship, Georgia. Now on beam for Alabama, Aaron Wrightley. Fort Walton Beach Jr. for the Crimson Tide. She took third in the regionals on beam, scoring a 9.875. So this has been a good event for her.
Front aerial. Whoops. See, she hesitated there on that landing. At this point in the season, you hope that when you mount this beam, your body goes into autopilot. They've done these skills over and over, back handspring layout.
Uh-oh.
And unfortunately, it looks like the pressure and the nerves is getting to her.
Well, and Coach Patterson knows now they cannot have another fall on this event. I mean, it's, and George is over there celebrating. No more mistakes for Alabama. Suzanne Yaklin's team, though, very close as Courtney Kupets prepares for the vault. What a performance she's had here in Corvallis.
She does the same vault her sister did. Round-off entry, half on, pike front. Wow. That was perfect. I think that could be a 10.
Yeah, that may have just clinched the national championship.
There's not too many times in gymnastics where I feel like routines or vaults deserve a 10. However, that vault was perfect. She came off the vault, straight at vertical, beautiful form, and perfect landing.
Well, Amanda, just under a 10. Almost. You could have been a judge. Well, now they're excited. They just can't wait. One more to go. One more to go for the title. Let's see if Tiffany Tolnay can blast it. I don't think Dad's run out of tape. There's Cotton.
The pressure is off. She just needs to go down here and do a solid vault.
That's it. That should be it. You know, I don't know that I've ever seen in gymnastics a team as consistent and as deep as this one, and they're so young.
Well, from the beginning of the lineup to the end of the lineup, any gymnast, just like Tiffany, can score a 9.95.
Meanwhile, over at the beam, more problems for Alabama, having had already one fall. Marie Baer with only a 9.225 on the beam. Here's what happened to her.
She had some trouble on her flight series. Back handspring layout, and her feet just look like they're dancing up there. But when you're on 4 inches, there's no room for error.
Yes, and that's no way to end your collegiate career. Sadly, Marie Baer's fall enabled Utah to slide into second as you take a look at our final standings, brought to you by Pontiac, an NCAA corporate champion. But it is Georgia, the Gym Dogs, that are repeat champions. They will bling it home, and we'll talk to them when we come right back.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships is sponsored by Lowe's. For all your home improvement needs, Lowe's, let's build something together. DiGiorno, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. And by The Hartford, we know you're not preparing to retire, you're preparing to live.
Back-to-back championships for the Georgia Gym Dogs. Ashley Kupets, one of the veterans of this team. There's Cotton Tolnay. And Dad Cam going to work as Tiffany clinched it, his daughter on the vault. Here's a look.
Stick.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Dad. You Take a look at the final standings. Georgia the winner. Utah does slide into second place. Alabama and Florida, 3 of the top 4 teams out of the Southeastern Conference. And Amanda Borden is down with the champions.
Congratulations, Suzanne. You guys did it. You know, you've talked about the depth of this team all season long, and it really played a part. You guys posted 19 out of 20 scores above a 9.8.
Wow, it was definitely depth. We had some mistakes again, but other people picked it up all the way through. And, you know, that's what a team is all about. It's coming through when other people make mistakes. And Alabama was awesome. I mean, I have to say that to them and commend them because they really pushed us. You know, we just had such a higher RQS coming into the meet. We thought it would be a lot easier than this, but you can never take it for granted. There's so many good teams out there, and we had to work for every single score.
Well, there was a lot of pressure on you guys being undefeated all season long. Freshman Tiffany, you anchored the last event. Lots of energy out there. How'd it feel?
I was definitely nervous, but it was just awesome just to anchor, you know, on the last event. And I lived every moment of it, and, you know, we call it Stick It on Vault, where we play a game in the gym where we all stick, so we felt like we did that. Good job, girls.
Well, it definitely happened tonight. Courtney, you won the all-around. You came back again today, and another solid all-around performance. What a freshman year.
It's been amazing. The only reason I could do anything like that is because of this team. If I did not have this team behind me, I don't think I would have done half as well as I did.
Well, congratulations, Georgia Gym Dogs, back-to-back.
All right, Amanda, coming up next is third-round coverage of the Wachovia Championship. And for Amanda Borden, I'm Tim Brando, and as we leave you today, we look back at 25 magnificent years of NCAA women's gymnastics.
Have these